Hello everyone, I am Renowned Zero, and today we're going to be talking about child harm activists claim that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse's Gwen Stacy is trans because reasons. Essentially her costume colors, which is weird because that's been her costume colors forever. And she's always been attracted to Peter Parker, who is Spider-Man, not Miles Morales, who is Miles Morales. Numerous body harm activists took to social media to claim Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is transgender, even though she's clearly female. Like, are you stupid? Twitter user Grey Fox Leia posted on Twitter, "Gwen Stacy is trans. Her whole arc is a trans allegory. The colors are the trans flag." The user then added, "But most telling, her white cop dad wears the trans colors on his uniform. No effing cop is that much of an ally unless they have a trans family member." Again, you're weird. She literally has breasts right there. You can see breasts, bruh. What are you talking about? And besides that, this is a child. The user then added, "By the way, I'm cool with shoving these characters down y'all's throats." Well, you're not really shoving the characters down the throats of anyone because this character isn't any of those things. If you don't like it, you have crappy taste, and someone has to give you something with flavor. Can't just have salt on everything. Well, you're pretty salty. You should be pretty salty because this character is not trans. It's like you're just fucking weird, and you want to put all this agenda on literally everything that has nothing to do with this. House of Slaughter artist Chris Sheehan shared, "All the you haven't read the comics people are funny because neither have they." I'm pretty sure they have. Miles isn't the same Miles from the comics. Why would Gwen be? Infinite multiverse of possibilities, and now we can't have a trans Gwen. Silly. No, you can't, because it's not your character. You didn't create the character. You're not ever going to create a character as good as Gwen Stacy. So no, you can't just go around and saying that someone's character that is not yours, that you did not create, that is not your intellectual property, you can't just go around and putting your own likeness onto that character and just saying that this character is this thing that they've never been. Fucking weirdos, man. Another user tweeted, "People say Gwen being trans is a stretch, because it is, because she's not. But I can confirm it's true in canon because I am Gwen Stacy and I am trans. Have a good day." What the fuck is wrong with you? Fucking weirdo. See, you're looking for work on your Twitter account. There's probably a reason you're looking for work, because companies look at you like you're a fucking weirdo and you're mentally ill and you need help. Another responded, "I'm laughing at the fans arguing that it couldn't possibly be canon because it's not. Literally, did they watch the movie? It's a whole dang commentary of what canon means and that canon can change. Anyways, you look amazing at Perfect Gwen." Again, it's a movie that's not canon. Twitter user Space Cats Bunny, "Gwen Stacy is the first trans Spider-Person in the Spider-Verse." No, she's not. And plus, in the first movie, she was literally attracted to Miles Morales. Who is Miles Morales? Aaron in the morning responded to Grey Fox Leia writing, "Holy shit, I love Spider-Verse and I'm just learning now that they're basically all but Gwen Stacy is trans." No, she's not. Even if she's not, she's a hell of an ally with the Protect Trans Kids flags over her door. Can't wait to watch this movie. Yeah, the reason that's there is because Sony and Marvel most likely decided to put that there as propaganda because it's a kids movie and they're trying to groom your kids. It's not because her character's trans. Fucking idiots, man. People just make shit up on the fly these days. Mashi maybe tweeted, "MF be like Gwen Stacy is a trans," and then they have a 4-minute sequence in the movie where she's just the trans flag's colors. Okay. What does that mean? Trans icon because I said so. Not really. Y'all are the same weirdos that probably said Link is trans. Y'all are those same type of weirdos who said Cloud was trans. Cloud from Final Fantasy VII was trans because he wore a dress to save his friend. Solly Sosa's tweeted, "Attention to all cis. No one's cis. We're just either men or women. We have already claimed Gwen Stacy as ours. No, you haven't. It's not your character. Go fuck yourself. There's nothing you can do. The trans army will not relent to any discourse. Pray we do not claim more of your superheroes. You're not really claiming anybody. You haven't claimed anyone. And even if you do, no one cares. We're not buying comics. We're not going to pay for Marvel and DC comics. I'd rather go buy ISOM 1 another 5 times." Shout out to Eric July. The user added, "Also, I mean, come on, she's named Gwendolyn. Let's be real for a second, okay? What does that mean? Y'all bitches were mad that a trans character in Hogwarts Legacy was named Ryan. Like, this ideology that these activists promoted was condemned by Pope Francis in his letter Amoris Laetitia back in 2016. Pope Francis detailed, "Yet another challenge is posed by the various forms of an ideology of gender that denies the difference and reciprocity in nature of a man and woman, and emphasizes a society without sexual differences, thereby eliminating the anthropological basis of the family. This ideology leads to educational programs and legislative enactments that promote a personal identity and emotional intimacy radically separated from the biological difference between male and female. Consequently, human identity becomes a choice of the individual, one which can change over time. It is a source of concern that some ideologies of this sort, which seek to respond to what are at times understandable aspirations, manage to assert themselves as absolute and unquestionable, even dictating how children should be raised." He then asserted, quote, "It needs to be emphasized that biological sex and the socio-cultural role of the sex gender can be distinguished but not separated. It is one thing to be understanding of human weakness and the complexities of life, and another is to accept ideologies that attempt to sunder what are inseparable aspects of reality." Basically telling y'all that biology is real and the facts don't give a fuck about your feelings. Let us not fall into the sin of trying to replace the creator. We are creatures and not omnipotent. Creation is prior to us and must be received as a gift. At the same time, we are called to protect our humanity, and this means, in the first place, accepting it and respecting it as it was created. Not only does Pope Francis condemn this ideology, but Bishop Michael Burbidge of the Catholic Diocese of Arlington makes it crystal clear that the promotion of this ideology leads to what activists call gender-affirming medical care. Bishop Burbidge notes, "Gender-affirming medical or surgical interventions cause significant, even irreparable bodily harm to children and adolescents. These include the use of puberty blockers, ineffective chemical castration to arrest the natural psychological and physical development of a healthy child, cross-sex hormones to induce the development of opposite sex, secondary sex characteristics, and surgery to remove an adolescent's healthy breast organs or genitals." He asserts these kinds of interventions involve serious mutilations of the human body and are morally unacceptable. Yeah, so essentially saying y'all are fucking weird. Y'all are trying to change the way God made you. Change the way you were born. Change who you were supposed to be. And saying, my body, my choice. And you're going after children. Because they're the most vulnerable. They're the most impressionable. And they are like sponges. They absorb everything they see and hear. Because that's what they are. They're essentially sponges. And for these weirdos to say that, that Gwen Stacy is trans, you can tell right away that they don't read the comic books at all. It's absolutely amazing. Shout out to Master of the TDS, getting all the compilation of tweets together here that I'm about to read. Trans and even cis fans have every right to say Gwen Stacy is trans. No, you don't. Even if the movie's never outright confirmed it, you can't deny that it's being hinted at. No, it's not. The fact is, if she can make somebody feel represented, who are you to tell them they're wrong? Newsflash, you're wrong. It's not your intellectual property. It's not your IP. You don't get to decide who's trans and who's not. That's not how this works. That's really not how this works. I noticed the Protect Trans Kids flag poster above her doorway, and it made me cheer, bold. And before anyone complains, Marvel has been doing this from the beginning. No, they haven't. They're doing this to groom your children. Because it's a kid's film. Kids are going to watch it, and they're going to be confused. Honestly, if some of y'all want to assume someone is straight slash cis until proven otherwise, it's been proven in the comic books that she's straight. You fucking weirdos. That's how I know you never read a comic book in your fucking life. Then I'm going to assume every character I see is on the queer spectrum until proven otherwise. What a world we live in. That characters that are pre-established by their creators are somehow all on the queer spectrum, according to fucking weirdos on Twitter. You probably have pronouns in your bio, like a goddamn weirdo. By the way, I'm cool with... Yeah, I already read that one. Hell yeah, why not allow for someone who needs to feel represented, have someone to look up to? It's called make your own characters, bitch. White kids have Peter Parker, black kids have Miles Morales, why shouldn't trans kids have Gwen Stacy? There's no such thing as trans kids, for one. Secondly, again, Gwen Stacy is straight. It's not hurting Gwen Stacy and allows for a newfound appreciation for her. People appreciated Gwen Stacy already as a character in Spider-Man. She was already appreciated. We don't need her to be supposedly trans, because she's not. And again, she's a child in this movie. She's in high school. Y'all are fucking weird. Literally for any character who doesn't have a confirmed sexuality or gender identity, just let us have our own headcanons. No. Fucking no. Did everybody in the quotes just miss these, or are they just terminally stupid? Again, those things were placed there to groom children. There's no such thing as trans kids. I'm going to continue to say this till I'm blue in the face. I'm sorry, but if you watch Across the Spider-Verse and someone says Gwen isn't trans, I don't know what to tell you. It was painfully obvious. Obvious to who? Weirdos like you? Obvious to who? Not real comic book fans, just weirdos like you. Good. It wasn't just me that saw the similarities between her and my own journey. It's a journey of teenagers who don't see how they belong in the world. Literally the same fight that all teenagers tend to have in real life. Dumbasses. This, regardless of your personal feelings for her being trans or cis, doesn't affect the current story whatsoever, so why do you care? Because you're trying to instill this in children. Trying to groom children. Trying to confuse children. It's very weird how you're so on about this when it's a kids movie. You're trying to insinuate that trans kids exist, which they don't. People will see a guy and girl interacting and claim that is a subtle hint that they're dating. Meanwhile, people noticing all the tiny hints of Gwen being highly possibly trans, and suddenly it's reading too deep into it. I love seeing people relate to Gwen here. You're weird. I hate that we have to fight people on this, we have to fight people on this because weirdos like you always have your weirdo shipping and your weirdo headcanons because you see a movie and yet you don't know shit about this character. You claim to think you know about this character when all you're doing is watching a movie. When her hair colors turned into the trans flag, I was fighting back tears. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's just a metaphor or meant to be canon, but imagining Gwen as trans just makes me smile. I think it also represents the problem of having to hide your identity to your family for your own safety, so I don't think that's that forced like people say it is. And I'm sorry that the tweets can't be bigger. I was trying to make them bigger, and I'm not exactly sure how to do that, so I apologize for that. I love so much that trans kids have a badass-like character to look up to. There's no such thing as trans kids. Fucking groomer. Even if not true, this is headcanon enough and I will die on this hill. Gwen Stacy was so good, and I love this for kids. Again, it's a child. You're fantasizing about a child. That's kind of weird. Plot twist, her dad's also trans. What the fuck are you talking about? I was almost in tears seeing the first 20 minutes of this movie. I've never felt this represented by a blockbuster movie before, let alone one for children. It doesn't need to be explicit, we all know. For real, anyone can wear the mask until a minority we don't like chooses to wear it. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Cope some more. I'm begging for them to make her more obviously trans in the next movie. If people want to headcanon trans, who is that hurting? Doesn't change a thing about the character at all. I don't think she's trans, but there's definitely strong hints all throughout that left me wondering for sure. She's still the same character, not character though if she is or not. No. Again, she was in love with Peter Parker, who is Spider-Man. Ain't no way someone in the reply said, oh, the police colors are blue and hers are white and pink, so that's why her dad had this patch. And what? He just put them in order of the trans flag by accident, not to mention it had repeating colors and not every color just once. I can't even begin to describe how incredible it is that our new Spider-Man has a trans femme love interest. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. He's not Spider-Man. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. It's absolutely insane how good this rep is for being subtle to the naked eye. There are more than enough hints to support trans reading of Gwen's character. Dismissing it as a forced woke headcanon is so stupid. It is a forced woke headcanon. Everything, even a cis Spider-Woman, is a headcanon unless explicitly stated by the creators. I argue Miles' arc is also somewhat of a queer allegory, so apparently Miles is queer now as well, according to these weirdos. Given how there's a whole thing about him coming out, come on, you can't say you don't see it. Wow. My theory is that Gwen is still dealing with gender identity. No, she's not. And since the movies aren't fully done yet, I'm betting that we might see Gwen using they, them, they, him, or he, him pronouns in the next movie. Yeah, as propaganda, but she's not. It'd be really funny to me because I bought that spider suit about 5 years ago. Unpopular theory, but I think it was Gwen Stacy's Peter who was trans, not her. No, he wasn't. She would always stand up for him when he would get bullied, which would tie into her Protect Trans Kids sign. It could also explain the flag on her dad's jacket, and that's why he wants justice so bad. They're there because it's propaganda. Again, stupid people are gonna stupid, and people on Twitter are stupid. People like this on Twitter are stupid. Read a goddamn book. Even if they don't come out in the third and say she'll always be trans to me and many others. I'm so happy people feel represented by this character. You can feel represented by the character and not have anything to do with her supposed sexuality that you think she has, which she doesn't. Lock it down. We're claiming her. Yeah, okay. Just like you weirdos try to claim Link. Again, another child. Y'all need help. I know she probably isn't trans, but please, 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 please. It would be so awesome. It would be cool. It would be the most incredible superhero movie the world has ever seen. The screens would light you. The greatest superhero of all time. The greatest superhero movie of all time was either Batman 1989 or Superman, the original movie. So we already got that. Thanks. I'm all for the Gwen being trans canon, but why the fuck do they keep moving these marginalized characters? Cop parents, get the fuck out of here with that lib shit. That's it, can't wait to watch. Okay. Some people really need characters to turn and face the camera / audience direct and say, I am trans, before they recognize what coding is in writing. And even then, audiences will be like, why do they have to shove it in your face? Why can't movies be subtle with alphabet messaging? Yeah, it's called propaganda. Also, nobody just has a trans flag in their room if they're not trans. Yes, it was a project created by Sony and Disney. Of course it's going to be there because they're putting propaganda in a child's movie. That's what they do. You don't hang up flags in your room when you don't belong to the community. Massive projection is right. To which Master of the TDS says, Across the Spider-Verse has released in theaters and is doing fairly well at the box office. Some placed imagery and lighting in some scenes of the movie have caused some people to decide that Gwen Stacy, aka Spider-Gwen, is obviously transgender. In the comics, Gwen has never been portrayed as anything other than straight in all her incarnations. When challenged on this quote transgender Gwen stance, it would seem some people are not very happy about their headcanon representation being taken from them. Added some handy descriptors for some of them more interesting responses, which are these right here. So all in all, y'all are fucking weirdos. Y'all need to cope with the fact that Gwen's not trans. Y'all need to cope with the fact that you don't read comics. You've never read a comic book in your entire life. And you need to get on with your fucking life. Because if this is how you want to see representation, supposedly as my own headcanon, and this is this and this, oh, this means this person's trans even though they're not, because we want to take over and consume and corrupt product and intellectual properties that aren't mine, you need to get some help. and move on and cope with your life. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button, comment below what you feel about all this, subscribe for more content, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that way you get notifications anytime I post a new video, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.